We're on number 16 of the 19 things that I teach in real estate school, and we're talking about time blocking your calendar, behaviors and actionable items on a daily and weekly basis. I want you to be a time blocking ninja, or at least a time blocking expert, and to master as much as you can. So this is mission critical, because time is ticking. We can't get these last 10 seconds back. The fact you're listening to this video right now means that you said yes to this because it's important enough for you to say no to other things that you could be doing right now. So thank you for making this a priority. The goal is to utilize time, not just spend it. We need to utilize and maximize the time that we have, because when we say yes to a task, that means we say no to something else. It's priority management. It's where you place your values and priorities. Oftentimes we talk about self-sabotage and habits and getting in our own way. Some of that's the language that we use. And I believe what's really happening is internally, you're having a disagreement with your values. Your values are conflicted with each other, and probably many of you haven't ever thought of it this way. But what I mean is right now, whether you care to admit it or not, you might place value on procrastination, and you might place value on being comfortable instead of uncomfortable. So let's take lead generation, for example. You might say, well, I'm struggling there. I'm having a disagreement with my values because inside of me says, I just want to be comfortable, and lead generation, it just makes me uncomfortable. And at the same time, I know what I'm supposed to be doing to earn business, and I know I need to get out there and lead generate. So which one of these do you place more priority on? Do you place more value on creating an incredible life full of experiences for your family, or with you being comfortable? Which one? Make a choice, and then from there, because hopefully you're going to choose creating an incredible future. And then we just go and create some action items and pain points along the way. But this is really all about priority management. Your calendar will tell you the truth. If I don't know you, but you show me your calendar, I can tell you what you place priority on. All right, that's a fact. Does your calendar match your goals? Write the question down. Does your calendar match or reflect your goals? If you say, I want to earn $100,000, does your calendar reflect that of a person who wants to make 100 grand a year? Or does it reflect the person of someone who wants to make 40 grand a year? Which is okay as long as you're okay with it. All right, so consider that. The first step is to schedule your time as far as you can go, likely a yearly calendar. You start with a blank canvas. Now, what is going on there in terms of family or vacation time for the year? What is your non-negotiable priority? And whatever it is, that should be going on your calendar first. So if my daughter's got a volleyball tournament, or my son's got a baseball or football game, or I have a trip planned with my spouse, I'm going to make sure to put those into my calendar first, because I prioritize my family. And there's nothing that's going to get away with that, because my family is the most important thing in the life for me. So I schedule family and vacation time first. Nothing else gets from there. And then once you have your non-negotiables on your calendar, then you're going to go put events or movable commitments that are important to you. Maybe it's a wedding, maybe it's a certain training, convention, or seminar that you want to go to this year. It's been on your bucket list for a while. Whatever it is, put that next. Next is predetermined appointment slots. Hopefully by now you've got goals and metrics and know how many appointments per week or how many appointments per month you need to go on to consistently attain your goal. So what you want to do now is make sure that's showing up in your calendar. Because if you see it on the calendar, you've got empty time slots, filling those becomes priority, because to reach your goals, you need to see that slot filled with a person's name. So what would this look like? Let's say each and every day you've got 2 different appointment slots available. They're just an hour and a half of time blocks. Ideally, you're going to go back to that once you secure an appointment and fill it in with an actual person's name. So now when the buyer randomly calls you during dinner time, and let's say you do accept the phone call, you can say, hey, I'm actually on an appointment right now. You don't owe them any justification. And that appointment might be with yourself. The appointment might be with your children or your spouse. And you just say, I'm actually on an appointment right now, or I'm caught up. But you're very important to me, so I tell you what, would tomorrow at 12 or 3 work for you? Or would Wednesday at 1 or 4 work for you? Which one of those works best? Now you're being proactive instead of reactive, and people love choice because it makes them feel like they're in control. So when you give them options to choose from, they're happy because they get to choose. But really at the end of the day, who's still in control? It's you, because there are predetermined appointment slots that without hesitation you can say, does this one or that one work better for you? Oh, that doesn't work? What about the next day or this time or that time? Imagine the confidence you'd walk around knowing that you can do that and you're in control, not the other way around. So after all those predetermined appointment slots, pretty much goes everything else. Lead generation and lead follow-up should arguably be in the movable commitments category. But if not, it's everything else. It's whatever else you have to do. Create a flyer and do some social media marketing, or work on all those other fillers. Here's a visual. Some of you may have seen the video with the 2 vases and they're filling it with their rocks. The first person, they fill their vases with the big rocks and then the most important things in their life or their day. And they go in order of the size of rocks. Next the pebble, and then finally at the end of the day, they add in the sand in there. And all that sand fills in between the big rocks. But the other person, they start with the sand, and what do you think happens? They might only get in 2 or 3 of those big rocks, because at the end of the vase, It's already filled with pebbles and sand. When you put in the big rocks in the container first and finish with the sand will find room filling in all the gaps, and you're able to get every one of those single rocks in. How that applies to our life is that you put the big rocks in first and the most important things are done, and all the other stuff and the pebbles and sand will find their way in accordingly. But if I put in all the other stuff first, aka the sand or the pebbles, it only leaves room or time for maybe one or two key important things that you're supposed to be doing. So that's why I say there's never enough time in the day to do everything, but there's always enough time in the day to do the most important things. And this is a priority management issue, not a time blocking issue. You gotta be okay with not just operating off a to-do list, but that a to-do list needs to be converted into a should-do list, and that a should-do list converts into a must-do list. You have to prioritize what matters most. So thanks for taking time today to prioritize this lesson, and I'll see you on the next one, number 17 of the 19 things that don't teach in real estate school. Live in abundance, not scarcity.